For actors, I think specifically, and I do so agree with you. I think that well, first off, I'm and I will always be incredibly kind to actors because those are my people. That's what I was. That's what I know. I know what it's like to be an actor. I know how difficult it is. Even with our stars who are pains in the, can I actually swear? Because if I cannot,
you can, I can't.
Ass. I can say ass. That's not bad. Pains in the ass. I know that it's because their face is out there, and sometimes our words aren't working, and I know that, and they need to know that I know that. I'm not going to defend everything. There are a lot of things that don't work, that a joke doesn't work or a story point doesn't work. So I get that. But still, it's got to be a two-way street. And for me, it's always about, and this business has changed considerably for actors. I was an acting teacher for a couple of years with a buddy of mine not long ago. And I was shocked, frankly, at what can you do for me tomorrow? As opposed to, I need to work as an actor. I need to prepare myself. I need to learn how to be an actor. And nobody wants to do that anymore. We met in a class with an incredible teacher, Gordon Hunt, who I will always recommend to anybody, even though he's doing a lot less of it these days, because you found your scene partner, you worked for that week, you worked as hard as you could to make the scene right, you went up, you performed it, you did well, you brought it back the next week. I am amazed at how difficult that seems to be for actors to do. And I'm going to tell you right now that you can see it. When they come in the door, if they're not ready, if they're not prepared, you lose interest immediately. And I will not bring them back. I don't have the time to waste on an actor who's not preparing, an actor who's not ready. I will always put on my casting sheet, remember them, even if I know they're not right for this role, because I can see that they have something. And that for me is what bugs me for hopefully something that you folks can gain something from, because the politics I can only deal with for me, and that's a whole separate issue. But
I wish there was the old studio system was in place for a lot of things. So many actors today don't articulate; they mumble, and as a director, that becomes part of my job to say I couldn't understand you when you said something, and I shouldn't really have to be policing that in addition to everything else. So many actors have bad posture. I wish I didn't have to tell them to stand up straight.
Seriously?
Oh my God. Not kidding. Then there's all the other stuff that you guys are learning, should learn, have learned, the basic techniques of hitting marks and matching with your props and stuff that's, basic to film acting. And then there's the other part about bringing a character to life. And a lot of actors today don't have other languages or accents, it feels to me like actors in the old studio system were trained to be able to walk into any part and do anything. And I wish there was more of that today.
They could sing and dance.
They could sing and
Everyone danced.
Yeah. You had a big toolbox as an actor.
Yeah. And
now it just feels like, back to that, what can you do for me? They sort of feel like they can just bring in themselves as who they are.
Or that they can go to a cold reading workshop and meet a casting person, and that's going to get them jobs. And by the way, sometimes that works, I suppose, because if you're talented, and there are some who can even transcend that, great. But there's plenty who can't, and it hurts them.
My son plays baseball. He's a pitcher. And I see how much practice makes perfect. And I think every athlete knows that. Well, I think it's the same for acting. Yeah. I think you have to practice. I think you have to keep your chops up. I think you can't think, I have my one audition, in 2 months. I'm sure I'll be great. I'm going to walk in there and do it. You have to work on it before you bring it in for the audition. Yes. Which is not to say you guys would ever do that, but a lot of people do.
Singers can't not practice.
Right.
Because
then they lose their tool.
Yeah. But actors, even if you have no money, you can get together and read out loud, read scripts or do scenes. You just got to stay warm.
And you can videotape yourself, which used to be hard to do and now is not. Everybody has a smartphone. You can do a monologue and you can put marks on the floor and have a prop and tape yourself. Go, whoops, I didn't match. Whoops, I didn't hit that mark. You know, you don't have, you can do it by yourself if you need to.
Oh, I have to jump on that. That is so perfect.